Let's talk about Project 2, Angle Bisectors Part 1, which corresponds with Lesson 7 of your course player. So the first question shows you a figure, and it says, and this is the figure that we're looking at, it says BD is the angle bisector of angle ABC. It divides angle ABC into two congruent angles, angle ABD and angle DBC. Then it says, it gives you another figure over here, and it says which ray is the angle bisector of angle ABE. So they're giving you this first figure as an example to kind of look at it, inspect it, and then figure out why that statement is true. It says BD is the angle bisector of ABD, it divides blah blah blah. So they want you to use this information, which basically defines angle bisector for you, and then apply it to this image and figure out the angle bisector here. So let's read through this one more time. BD, which is this ray protruding right here, BD, is the angle bisector of ABC, which is the larger black angle. It divides it into two congruent angles. So by that they mean by having that ray, or that angle bisector, it splits it into two angles, which are A, B, D, and D, B, C. And you can see that each one measures 40 degrees. So this is an angle bisector because it bisected, it split the angle into two equal pieces. So if that's what it means to be an angle bisector, then which ray will be the angle bisector of ABE? Now, if I were you, the first thing I would do is outline my angle ABE. So I did kind of a sloppy job, but it gets the point across. So it's important to know which one we're aiming for. And I want to find the angle bisector. So it's going to be important for me to know the full measure of this angle ABE. Because once I know the full measure, I'll know what angle would bisect it. In other words, I need to know the full angle to figure out what half of it is. In this case, ABC is clearly an 80-degree angle. So it would be easy for me to find that an angle bisector would create two 40-degree angles. So over here with angle ABE, if I can figure out what that full angle is, then that will be my next clue to figure out which one of these rays is the angle bisector. And again, that'll be the one that splits ABE into two equal parts. So you'll identify the ray. Could be ray BA, BG, BF, BE, or BC. So once you answer that, you are asked to use that interactive tool once again. Now, I want to review what that toolbar means again because it doesn't stay the same toolbar lesson to lesson. Maybe you've noticed that from Project 1. But for example, this ray button was not available in Lesson 6 before there was a line segment. So it's important that you look at the icons and identify them each time. Again, we've got move, array, intersect, circle with center through the point, compass, angle, show, hide, delete, move, zoom in, and zoom out. Again, please keep track of these because the directions are going to refer to them very specifically. So let me pull up my tools of the trade here, and I will walk you through the first example. So it says that, let's see, it says that we will be drawing an angle that we will eventually copy. So this is important because let's say, I don't know, let's say they have you do something like this. Let's say that you decide, okay, well, I've done those directions, but now I want to play around and do other things. So you start clicking on random buttons and creating other objects and things like that, right? So now I've got all this mess. So it doesn't mean that I didn't follow directions, because I did, right? I still maybe had put up whatever they originally asked me to. But I've created all these points and images, which means that when they ask me, what is the name that appears here, what's the letter, what's the point name, mine are not going to match up. So it's important that you follow the directions and do nothing other than what you're directed to do, and that way the labels that appear on your screen are the ones that you should be getting. So let's take a look at your first example, which is question 2, lesson 7 in your project. It says, in the interactive tool, you will draw an angle that you will eventually copy. To do this, you must first draw a ray. First, choose the ray tool. So I'm going to click on this, and sure enough, it says the word ray. Then draw a ray by clicking on the white space in 2 locations. So I'm just going to click here, you know, direction apparently didn't matter. It says next, choose the show hide label, which shows 2 A's together, which is this guy right here. So I click on that. Then click on the points that appeared on the ray you drew, which are the only points on the screen at this point, right? So I've got that point and that point. Each of the points should now have a capital letter next to it, which is true. I see a capital letter A and a capital letter B. And then it says, note, you may need to use the move tool to move the points or the labels in order to see the letters. So if you had drawn your ray differently than mine, it might be obstructed from view. This is the move tool, those arrows. Or rather, this is the move tool. See, even I need to make sure that I get my stuff straight. So notice that I was able to click on it, and now I'm kind of dragging the image around. This has a similar function as the 4-way arrows. So in this one, I'm actually moving the object. I believe with this one, I move, you can't really tell, but I'm not moving the object, I'm moving the entire screen around is what's happening. You'll notice I'm clicking in the white space to move it around. Whereas with the pointer tool, I click on the line or the ray itself, and I'm moving it around the screen. So subtle distinction, but it may come in important later. So the question is, what is the name of the ray? And it says to enter your answer as the name of the ray using the appropriate order with uppercase letters like this. And then it says, gives you an example. So your answer in this case would be capital A, capital B. And you would just type in a capital A, capital B, and that's your answer. And then you'd move on to question 3, which builds on this. So again, important to only do what they direct you to do. As I've said before, go sentence by sentence, direction by direction. If possible, try to borrow someone's laptop or print out the instructions so that you can be looking at the instructions and then refer to the screen and not have to toggle back and forth. Again, if you have any technical issues with this, please contact our technical department and just fill me in on the problem. Alright guys, that's it for Project 4, Lesson 7. See you next time.